on, everybody? This is Matt Does Fitness, and I've got a friend who has fallen in love with two different school bags. I think he's bisexual. Right, this video is essentially going to be me rambling on about deadlifts and the current conundrum in which I find myself. Basically, as I've been saying it quite a lot recently. Basically, my form, I'm not happy with my form. All right. The biggest issues I have when I deadlift is that when I get above about 85-90% of my 1 rep max, my hips shoot up and my chest goes out over the bar, so I'm kind of leaning forwards. And also sometimes when it gets really heavy, my back can round a little bit. So what I've decided to do, I'm stopping the maximum effort work because I feel like doing the heavy singles is just kind of ingraining that bad form in me even more so. And I'm going to basically work on my deadlift form. I'm going to try being the operative word, to be really patient and just focus on my form as opposed to trying to lift really heavy. Now what you are seeing here is some work I did the other day. It's essentially just loads and loads of deadlifting. I didn't film all of it, but I filmed some of the stuff, and basically I kind of dropped the weight and I was just trying to work really hard on my form. Now this is, what is this? That's about, I don't know, like 330 or something. I think I got up to about 420 or so pounds. I basically wanted to test how heavy I could go before my form started to break down. I feel like the first PR I did in this maximum effort template, I feel like my form was okay there, but from that point on it started to break down. On the occasions where I've missed a PR attempt, it hasn't been great, particularly with my hips shooting up, and that is the biggest issue I'm trying to address. Now the conundrum I have is that, I tried to work on it here. I basically have I've spent the last few days kind of nerding out, watching every single deadlift video I can find, literally everyone, and so I now know how to execute the perfect deadlift, but I have so many kind of things I'm trying to work on. I've literally got a list of about 15 things I'm trying to work on, which is obviously impossible to incorporate all these things at once. So the main things I'm going to try and work on are, I want to be keeping my hips down. I want to try and push up through my heels, like try and kind of keep my chest back. I want to keep my head like neutral. I want to obviously avoid back rounding, keep my core nice and braced. I'm going to try and keep my elbows locked out as well, keep my shoulders kind of hanging whilst at the same time retracting my scapula somewhat. Like I said, the list goes on and on. Obviously I know I'm not a magician, I'm not doing all these things at once, but I'm going to try and incorporate them as often as I can, and hopefully after a while they will become ingrained. As you can see here, I'm doing some deficit pulls. I'm going to also start doing these from now on as much as I can, because I feel like my weakest area is initially like the straight off the floor part, and obviously doing a deficit pull is going to help that. So yeah, like I said, I've got lots of things to work on. I will try and incorporate as many as I can. The only other issue I had is that after having watched all of these things, I've also seen a lot of guys, particularly guys that lift really heavy, who have a lot of upper back, like thoracic in that area, a lot of rounding up there, and it appears to be completely safe. I think that obviously the biggest issue with back rounding is when your lower back starts to round. So I think, having watched back some of my stuff, sometimes my upper back rounds and my lower back is okay, and it kind of is a bit misleading. It gives you the impression that my lower back is rounding, and actually I don't think it is. So I'm not as kind of worried about my form as I was, but I still obviously I'm not happy with it. Like I said, I think my biggest issues are my hips shooting up and the fact that I'm falling forwards over the bar. So I think to summarize, the biggest things I will try and incorporate are keeping my hips kind of back, keeping my chest up so that I'm kind of pulling the weight backwards as opposed to falling over the bar. Obviously not allowing my hips to shoot up early, try and keep everything nice and locked and coming up simultaneously, and then hopefully everything else should start to flow from there. Yeah, so I will still try and lift relatively heavy. I'll just try and build it up gradually, do some sets of 3s and 5s, possibly some singles, but all within kind of realistic weights. and I'll see how it goes. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I will see you tomorrow.